Oh, good morning, folks, and welcome back again this morning to another hope amazing and fascinating video today. Today, before you, I would like to talk about what is very controversial today. Okay, right before you, I have a satchel. Okay, and I would like to talk to you today about what many people are trying to apply to a certain type of gender. Today, this thing is called the purse. It's called a man bag, and people make fun of it. Okay, now I'm here today to bring out to light the history of the man purse, the man bag, satchel, whatever you want to call it. Today, the purpose of the purse and man bag and everything is usually used to tote computer stuff, pens, calculators, maybe letter openers and stuff for men that are in bigger cities that go to the office and stuff like that. But that has not always been so. You go down through the past thousands of years upon thousands of years, men have toted a satchel, a bag. No matter what the culture, no matter what the country, no matter what a person's cultural ideology is, men have always toted some kind of bag, whether he was a fisherman, a farmer, some kind of military, a frontiersman. And that is a good point I'm trying to break across. Now, if you're a religious person, especially a Christian, a Jew, or Islamic, you would know men have always toted what we refer today as purses. Even our own Bible speaks of many places in the scriptures about men toting purses. Okay, that's stuff to tote their daily stuff in. It might be an article of clothing, might be fishing gear, it might be some kind of knife, it might be some kind of fire starting equipment, but it's usually something that they can attach around the waist or some kind of bag they can sling over their shoulder. Okay, but my statement is this morning is anybody that would say a man is less of a man, that means that he is feminine, okay, or got some kind of sugar in his tank because he totes a bag like this, you're very mistaken. Because let's point out to history. The apostles themselves, the 12 apostles in the Bible, toted maybe not this type, but leather bags and leather goods, usually strapped around their shoulders or strapped around their waist. Women didn't carry such because they knew they would not go on journeys like like fellow travelers did. Like scholars and doctors and lawyers and such, men of well-known of knowledge, or a carpenter might have bags like this where he put tools in. He carried his everyday stuff in. Even the Native Americans had pouches they strapped to their side that they carried their most important parts in. Warriors, okay, carried their tools of the trade, arrowheads and flint making materials to start fire and stuff, their personal items in what we would call purse today. Are we going to downgrade their macho ability because we're going to make them less of a warrior? We're going to put sugar in their tank because they carried a bag? Maybe not like this, but something similar, made out of leather. Time and centuries make a difference. If you go back centuries ago, women didn't carry stuff like this, okay, until pockets were invented. And pockets, history will teach you that women mostly carried a little small purse for like money change, and they would slide that in pockets of their dresses. They would put all their most important parts in these pockets that were in the lining of their dresses. Okay, they didn't tote man bags. These bags that women here have been toting here have been within around the last 150 years. But if you think a man is less of a man, let's go back to our frontiersmen, okay, like Lewis and Clark, who helped open up the West to us. These frontiersmen, They practically lived like Native Americans. They lived like the Indians. Many of them were taught, and they lived with the Indians and learned the customs of the Indians. Are we going to say that the Native Americans, who were some of the bravest warriors there have ever been, that they were sissies? They had sugar in their tanks because they had a man bag, what is considered a man bag today? Are we going to go to the likes of Daniel Boone, a very prominent frontiersman? Had a bag he strapped around his shoulder. Are we going to say he's less of a man because he had a man bag? Okay, let's even go. Let's go to the men that fought in the Revolutionary War. They had to tote their bags and all their personal items strapped around their shoulders. We're going to talk about the men that were patriots that fought in the Revolutionary War. The Minutemen who tote bags like this strapped across their shoulder, we're going to call them sissy mans because they had a man bag. Let's go down to Davy Crockett, okay? There you go, or Jim Boy. Two real well-known men out of Texas, okay, that fought side by side at the Battle of the Alamo, okay? When both men cried out, remember the Alamo. We're going to call these two men that wore man bags like this, a prominent man like Davy Crockett, a frontiersman that lived off the land, that not only fought the Native Americans, but also lived with the Native Americans, were many friends to many of the Native American Indians. We're going to call Davy Crockett a real man's man, a sissy boy, because he had a man bag. Folks, a lot of men that carry a bag like this love to rumble, okay? You see a man on the street like this wearing a bag around his shoulder that's got stuff like a multi-tools of different type in here. Might have a calculator. He might have even a knife. You know, he might be even toting a pistol. Is that somebody you want to mess with? Is that somebody that you want to call a sissy? Is that somebody that you want to might be toting a bag like this into a fitness center to do a workout? Is that somebody that might be bench pressing 400, 500 pounds? Is that somebody you want to call a sissy that's got sugar in his tank? Folks, our eyes can be deceiving. Men were your first to tote bags like this, okay? It's mighty dangerous to have our minds wondering, to say a man is a sissy just because he carries a bag with his personal items in it, okay? Today, when it comes to survival and prepping, many guys going out into the woods have a bag like this, and that's the purpose, the reason why I have a bag. I would love somebody to call me, and I'm going to say this with all seriousness and purity of heart, call me a damn sissy. Tell me I got sugar in my tank. But at the same time, be ready to rumble, okay? Be ready to have a swollen lip, a reddish jaw, or an eye that's black. I'm not a violent man. I'm a lovable man. I have compassion. My heart is full of compassion. My heart breaks at a lot of things going in the world. But one thing I'm not a damn sissy, okay? I'm not effeminate, okay? I'm not an effeminate man. But a real man, a man's man, will have no problem toting a bag like this. And a man's man will take much criticism. But he won't be able to be put up with calling a sissy. Call this man's purse, I have no problem with it. Call it a satchel, I have no problem with it. But call it a sissy bag in front of me, get ready to rumble. Okay? Everything I told in here, there's nothing feminine in this bag, nor is the bag feminine itself. Okay? I have fire starting equipment in here. I have rope. I have personal stuff in here. That's for survival for me or whoever's with me. Okay? Way to start fires. Way to do work of any kind. There's other stuff I need to put in here. But this is for a survival purpose. Might have a pair of socks in here. I might have some kind of skull cap. I might have fingernail clippings to clean my fingernails. Fingernails are so good for cutting fishing line and other stuff. Might have some wire bristles, might have a hammer, might have some kind of saw in here. Folks, this thing is far from a sissy bag. And men who wear them are not sissies. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this. It's not made to be offensive, but to protecting of a man's masculinity. Just be careful. Don't call a masculine man feminine because he's got a bag around his shoulder. God bless. Enjoy the journey. Shalom.